The final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is one of the most talked about seasons when it comes to the Yu-Gi-Oh! English dub. Even to this day, it's one of the most commonly asked questions that I get from my viewers. Dylan, do you think they will ever dub Season 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? I am surprised I have never made a video dedicated to that topic, and that is exactly what I'm going to do right now for all of you guys. And I am super excited to talk about Season 4 GX, whether I think it will get dubbed or whether I think it is never going to happen. You have a better chance of winning the lottery, maybe somewhere in the middle. Let's get to it. Before we get into the video, I do want to actually thank the sponsor of today's video, Into the AM. Into the AM is a SoCal-based company that sells t-shirts, sweatshirts, apparel for men and women, and they are an awesome company. I'm actually wearing one of their sweatshirts right now. It is a really cool design on the shirt. The sleeve is probably my favorite part. Stay inspired, which is true. You got to stay inspired. You got to keep it positive. We're always keeping it positive here on Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything. You guys know that. I always try to have an inspired and positive attitude. And yeah, huge thank you to them for sponsoring the video. Go to their site. Use the link DILYGO10. It will be the first thing in the description for 10% off site-wide. Honestly, their shirts are really comfortable, really coolly designed, and fairly priced. I think most of their shirts are around the $20 range. So definitely, if you're in the market for a shirt, which I know I always am, head to their site, at least take a look around. Really cool guys, really awesome designs. And if you're in the Northeast like I am and it's getting cold, winter is coming. I was with some great company earlier today, and by 5 o'clock when that sun sets, it is freezing out. So grab yourself a sweatshirt. Grab yourself this sweatshirt. Because honestly, this infinite tree design, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like, you know, Spectre's trees, and Sun Avalon's just came out, so the timing of that is pretty perfect. But it's really cool. And thank you to them. Thank you to Into the AM for sponsoring this video. Definitely check out the site, and let's get to the discussion. So for those of you that don't know, the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, including the final episode of Season 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, were never dubbed by, at the time, 4Kids. At the moment today, they are called Konami Cross Media. They went from 4Kids to 4K Media to Konami Cross Media. There were a lot of rumors as to why the final season did not get dubbed. The rumors I've heard over the years range anywhere from them wanting to skip ahead to dub Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, kind of leaving Yu-Gi-Oh! GX in the dust, from all the way to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 4 being too dark, and therefore they did not want to touch that season, which... that's one that I don't really believe is true. I don't know if them rushing to get to 5Ds is true either. To be honest, I don't know what's true. But all I know for a fact, and all we know for a fact, is that the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is never dubbed. It was never dubbed. There is no secret dub of it. I've seen forums where people claim that there was a dub done but never released. There's no evidence backing that up either. I've heard some crazy things over the years that I'm sure most of you guys have heard of as well in regards to this final season. I'll never forget I was hosting a Liberty City Anime Con panel with some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains voice actors, and one of the first questions that was asked when we opened it for audience questions was, will there ever be a final season dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? And it was a very uncomfortable moment in the room.
Timing and edit.
I don't know, we just act. we don't have any insight into that, I apologize. I have no idea. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest with you. We're not privy to that information.
Because, you know, it's not really, especially with Konami there, not really a question you can address at all. And I think Matt Shipman, who now does a lot of voice acting work for Funimation, kind of took the mic from me and was like, hey, we're just voice actors. We really don't know anything like that. So big thank you to Matt for kind of getting me out of an awkward position. But yeah, the final season of GX has always really fascinated me when it comes to the English dub. And looking back on it now, I do not think that they will ever go back and sub the final season of GX. And I know that's not the answer you guys want to hear. I know you guys want to hear that I believe there is going to be a final season dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, or that I've even heard news from the company that they are planning to dub the final season of GX. But the reason I'm making this video is actually quite the contrary. I had a source tell me pretty recently, again, I can't name any sources, but trust me on this, that there are absolutely no plans of dubbing the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And from what I've heard and what I've gathered, I think there probably is a genuine better chance of you winning the lottery than them ever dubbing the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And there's a few reasons why dubbing the final season of GX just doesn't make any sense. The first being profitability. Is using resources to dub the final season of that show profitable at all for Konami? Not really. Konami has completely changed their approach with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game marketing. And current day, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game is now completely separate from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. The current Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, and they are showing off Rush Duels in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. We are 20 episodes through that show. I cover that show on a weekly basis. I watch every episode, and there is no sign that Master Duels or the main TCG, OCG format, the main Master Rule 5 format, is ever going to be shown off in a duel in that show. At the moment, the only type of dueling that we are getting in 7s is rush dueling. Therefore, the anime is completely focused on selling a new era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and a new style of dueling. So the anime now is completely separate from marketing the card game. And so everything that gets done by Konami Cross Media has to get approved by or instructed by Konami of Japan. That's kind of the hierarchy, and that's the way subsidiaries work. When Konami Cross Media was 4Kids, they were their own company. When they became 4K Media and now are Konami Cross Media, they are a direct subsidiary of Konami Japan. Everything that gets done by Konami Cross Media has to get approved by or instructed by Konami of Japan. There is no way that Konami of Japan is going to spend resources and time to go back and dub the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. They're not even working with Studio Gallop anymore, the studio that made that final season. The anime is not promoting the current card game. The current card game is strong enough to survive without an anime, and realistically, it probably has been for the last 10-15 years. So now all of their anime resources are going to go into promoting Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duels. And I do believe, and I have good reason to believe, that Rush Duels are coming to the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG market in the very near future, probably within the next year. And so, if they have the decision between going back and dubbing the final season of GX, or starting to dub Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, and create an audience for that new way to play the game, and that new anime, they're always going to choose to dub the new show. And I know the dubbing is a little delayed. We still don't have the Vrains dub released here. There's no way that they are going to go back and dub Season 4 of GX. It's just never going to happen. I've heard from people at the studio that there is no intention of it happening. There was actually a pretty interesting post from some people over at Team Millennium, I believe it was. I actually know the people that were involved in this Reddit post who were doing a fan dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 4, and someone from Konami Cross Media actually reached out to them and said that they got word from their uppers that the fan dub kind of needed to cease and desist. And they agreed to cease and desist, and, you know, the people of Konami Cross Media basically said, you know, we have rights to the Season 4 of GX, and while we haven't done anything with it, you know, you can't make this fan content because we own the content. The guy seemed very nice about it. Everyone was polite all around, in my opinion. But they clearly do have the rights to dub the final season, but from a profitability standpoint, and cash is king, it just doesn't make any sense. Sure, it would be a really cool nostalgia wave for all of the fans, especially people that haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh! In maybe 10-15 years, to hear that the final season is getting dubbed. Because there are a lot of people out there, you might not want to believe it, but there are a lot of people out there that only watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dub and will never watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sub. There is a massive market for the Yu-Gi-Oh! English dub, and while I do find enjoyment in both, because I think they're almost at the end of the day two completely separate canons and products, you know, you do have that untapped English dub market out there, but what would be the profitability and selling point of redubbing or going back and finishing the dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? I've thought about it long and hard. I've thought about it for years. There really is no point. And so if I'm looking at it from a realistic point of view, along with what I've been told by people who are closer to the studio than I am, it's just never going to happen. There are no plans of it happening, and it's going to be something that, same with the final season of 5Ds, if you want to apply this discussion to that as well, I think it's valid, but this is just one of the most commonly asked questions that I get. I get this question all the time. People will donate all the time during live streams and ask this question, and I just felt it was about time I make an honest video on it. And you know I'm positive, you know I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic, and I try to be as realistic with you guys as often as I can be. And while I do think it would be so cool, and I'm not saying that it wouldn't be enjoyable or fun for them to announce, yeah, we're going to dub the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, just to see the changes that they make and the censorships that they make, it just realistically makes absolutely no sense, and it's something that is never going to happen, at least in the very near future, I think ever. I mean, sure, maybe they'll change their mind on it, maybe there will be a sequel. The only way it's going to happen is if, like, Studio Bridge announces that Yu-Gi-Oh! 8 or Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 is a direct sequel to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Then I can say, all right, well, now maybe there's a reason from a continuity standpoint to go back and dub the show. But with the anime not being associated with the card game anymore, the main card game, Studio Gallop isn't even in the picture anymore, and with a hard-to-find profitability reason, it just makes no sense, and it's never going to happen, even though it would be really cool. But you let me know your thoughts on this topic, because this is a highly discussed topic. Even today in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, it's been highly discussed probably since, like, the 2008 forum boards, and it has never gone away, and it probably never will go away, because it's the final season of one of the more popular Yu-Gi-Oh! Spin-offs that just never received a dub. So it's a very common question, and hopefully my answer made sense. And whether you agree or disagree, and maybe you're more optimistic, if you are, I'd love to hear your reasoning for it. Please let me know down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Again, big thank you to Into the AM for sponsoring the video. Use the link right down below in the description for 10% off site-wide. And a special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Horace Maye, Goosey Q, Panther J, Blue Maiden 28, Jarrett Buller, and Aura Dragon, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, Pegasus Seiya, and Anime Kaput, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons, Stella Sky, Chase Connelly, and 10th Emperor. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. You guys are amazing. Thank you to everyone who's a YouTube channel member. You guys help me out incredibly. I cannot begin to tell you how much you all do mean to me. Thank you to everyone who watched the video, by the way. I stream over on Twitch. That'll be linked down below. I stream on YouTube a lot. I'm sure I'll catch you in one of those streams. But until next time, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, everyone.